So now that your Addie's hot tub has been delivered to your house, the first thing you need to do is get it wired by an electrician. That's something we can't do, but once your hot tub is wired, you can start to fill it up yourself with your hose. So to do that, you're just going to take your hose and place it in the filter cartridge area there. Turn it on and just let it run for a while. The reason we fill it up through the filter area is because all the water that comes out of the jets goes in through the filter. And so when we fill it in that way, we don't have to worry about any air getting trapped in the lines to the jets. A good rule of thumb is to fill up your hot tub to 1 inch above the highest jet. And once you get it filled up and you flip on your breakers, it'll automatically, factory settings, start heating up to 100 degrees. While we wait for that to heat up, you can check out your water test results that should have been taken by the delivery crew and sent to your email. These results are just going to go over the initial chemicals you have to put in to start up the hot tub. After you first get your hot tub, you want to make sure your filter cycle hours are set correctly. So to do that, you're going to hit mode until you reach tools and the plus button. Then you'll cycle through mode again until you reach filter 1. You'll hit the plus, and you can turn that number up, make sure it's at 3 hours. Exit filter 1, go on to filter 2, and turn that one up to 3 hours. And that will just make sure your filters are cycling through as much as they need to keep your water clear. So now that your hot tub is in place, wired, and filled with water, and it's heated up to about that 90 degree range, you can start adding your chemicals in. You just want your water to be hot before you put in your chemicals so they dissolve quickly and you don't have to worry about putting a bunch of stuff in and it just sitting at the bottom of the water. For your startup chemicals here, it'll tell you in the water test that we send back exactly or how much of each chemical to put in. Most likely it'll start by asking about adding some alkalinity increaser, and then you'll figure out your pH right here, and you'll start by adding an initial dose of some chlorine concentrate or some liquid chlorine. What that's going to do is kind of kickstart your chlorine system, and eventually the cartridges that we put in are going to help maintain residual chlorine level. So to start off, just look at your water test results. It'll tell you exactly what to put in, how long to wait between putting in each chemical. You'll notice all around your hot tub you have various different valves here. These are your diverter valves, and they control how much air goes to which jet. The more air you have coming out of a jet, the deeper massage you're going to get from it. The exact layout of them can be found in the owner's manual and what jets they go to, but I've found the best way to know exactly what they do is just to sit in your hot tub, run the jets, and mess with them and kind of find what you like the most. Your most important diverter valve is the one that controls your waterfall there. So while your jets are running, in this particular hot tub, the valve for the waterfall is right here. If you turn on the valve, the waterfall will turn up, and you can turn it off that way. The higher setting you have your jets at, the more power you're going to get behind your waterfall. Another control you have is changing the lights that are on in your hot tub. Cycling through here is just going to control the dimmer on those, and once you kind of find what you like, you can leave it there. The final control you have on your hot tub here is the jets button. Pressing it once will turn on your first pump or your first jet, and as you continue to press it, it will cycle through the different settings and turn them on one at a time until eventually they'll all turn off. After you've added your initial chemicals and used your hot tub for about a week, it's time to start testing it on your own. When you do test your water on your own, you're going to use these Addie's test strips here. They're pretty straightforward, and they kind of walk you through the whole process on the back of them anyway. So you'll dip in your test strip for about 2 seconds, take it out and read it against the back of the bottle here. Your highest strip is your chlorine reading. You want your chlorine square to be darker than the top square. Next up, it'll show you your alkalinity, pH, and water hardness. As far as adjusting those goes, if you're a little low on pH, you add some pH increaser. If you're a little low on alkalinity, you'll add some alkalinity increaser. It's pretty straightforward labeling there. The only thing is that there is no alkalinity decreaser, and so for that, you'll use pH decreaser. So all of the bottles here that have the purple lids are decreased with the pH decreaser. And dosages are on the backs of those, but we like to say it's a lot less like a science experiment where you're measuring everything out perfectly, and it's a lot more like cooking. So once you kind of get in the routine of it, you'll figure out about how much you need, and you're kind of, again, you're putting it in through the filter area over there while running the jets on high. And if you ever test your water and you're a little low on chlorine, you can add in a little extra of the chlorine concentrate stuff. The top of the water test result that we send you right away is going to have a regular maintenance section. Under that, it'll say exactly how much of your shock and your staining scale that needs to be added every week. So while your alkalinity, chlorine, and pH is all based on what the test strip says, your shock and your staining scale are going to be routine. It's usually 2 to 3 tablespoons once a week. Shock just ensures your chlorine is all working properly, and staining scale prevents any hard water buildup from the calcium in the hot tub. The Addy's hot tubs here come with this inline system where you'll have a chlorine and a mineral cartridge built into the water, so your water will constantly be circulating through these. The idea is with the mineral cartridge, it'll just help your water kind of stay smooth and maybe kill any bacteria. And your chlorine cartridge is just going to help maintain like a residual chlorine level at all times. Both of those cartridges go under this screw-off lid here. So when you take this cap off and set it aside, you can take out this guy right here. It's labeled on the back where you want your mineral and bromine or chlorine cartridge to go. These will just slide in and then go right back into the hot tub here. The chlorine cartridges or the bromine ones will need to be replaced once a month, and the mineral cartridge will last you 4 months. So a lot of people will clean their filter at the same time they replace their chlorine cartridge, and they'll drain and refill their hot tub at the same time they replace their mineral cartridge. When you first open them, you'll first have to get the plastic wrap off, and then the top will rotate so you can select the setting that you want it at. The higher the setting on the chlorine and bromine cartridges, the faster they will get used up. With the mineral cartridge, we say no matter the hot tub, you always want to set those to a 6. So you set them to a 6, you'll get your 4-month life out of them, and then they'll need to be replaced. With the chlorine cartridges, it's going to depend on the size of your hot tub and how often you're using it. A general kind of setting we start a lot of them at is like a 4 or a 5. So maybe start with that, and if when you're testing once a week you feel like your chlorine is always really low, you can turn that setting up a little bit and just go from there. So once a month we need to take out the filter in the hot tub, clean it off, and put it back in. Doing this just makes sure that your water is going to be a little easier to balance, and when you clean it once a month, you can get that full 1-year lifespan out of the filter. So to clean them, you'll just take them out. All the hot tubs are a little different in how you remove the filter, but once the basket is removed, they're usually pretty easy. None of them are really threaded in there, too difficult. So once you take the filter out, they're all going to look a little different, but They'll be about like this. You'll take it out, rinse it down with a hose. You're not using a power washer or anything. You're just trying to get any of like the big debris out with that. Then you'll spray it with your filter cleaner spray here. Get quite a bit on there, get a good kind of thorough spray, and then just leave it for 15 minutes. That's going to allow the spray time to pull any like oils or lotions out of the filter itself. Afterwards, you're going to rinse it back down with the hose to like remove the bleach from this, and you can put your filter right back in the hot tub there. I would recommend that you don't do that over your grass, because the spray sometimes can kill your grass if you put too much of it in one spot. The water in the hot tub when you drain it isn't going to kill your grass, but just cleaning the filter is something I always do over the rocks or over the concrete somewhere. Every 4 months you want to drain and refill your hot tub. That's also a really good time to swap out your mineral cartridge, the blue one. When you do that, you just want to power it down by turning off the breakers, and each hot tub is going to have a little like outlet valve on it that you can open up and just hook a hose up to, and gravity, it'll just drain on its own. If you want to speed the process up a little bit, a portable sump pump in the middle is even going to be enough. The chemicals that are in the water are not going to kill your grass. Dumping 300, 400 gallons all in one spot might not be great for it. So just move the hose around a little bit, but the water, like the chemicals itself, aren't like toxic or anything like that. When you do refill it, then you'll do a fresh fill through the filter area there, just like the first time we filled it up. And then once it's full, flip your breakers back on, rebalance your water, and once it's all heated up, your hot tub's good to go. After each use of your hot tub, you're going to want to shut the cover and clip it shut. So just to kind of run over everything that we went through earlier, once a week with these Addy's hot tubs, you want to test it with your test strip, and that'll tell you if you need to maybe add some chlorine, adjust your pH and alkalinity. At that time, you're also going to put in your shock and your stain and scale control. And then once a month, you'll take out your filter, clean that off, and put it back in. That's also a good time to replace your gray chlorine cartridge, or if you're using the bromine system, it'll be the yellow one. Every 4 months, you need to replace the blue mineral cartridge. That's also a good time. People like to sync that up with then draining and refilling the hot tub. And then once a year, the filter is going to need to be replaced, so you can go in and pick up a new one of those.